I'm Alexander Surya Gianni, mole on the right hand, penguin duck birthmark in case they're pulling imaging hustles and data hustles. It is 5/22, August 4th. So what bullshit are these kids about? They're claiming this isn't psychological torture. One, having a permanent device in your brain where people can see through your eyes and bombard you with telepathy and hold you hostage in conversations where you can't walk away from it. That's more than psychological torture right there. Just having a device in your brain where your passwords, financial information, etc., is just exposed to terrorists and criminals. One. Two, being held hostage by terrorist criminals and rapists and people who demonstrate pedophile like behavior who have devices in your heart and genitals, lungs, and brain who can shock your brain and shock your heart at any given moment. That's psychological torture as well, where you could be killed at any given moment for 5 years and 5 months. Yeah, that's a little bit more than psychological torture, where you're in fear of your life and being held hostage. Three, people who sit around all day bombarding you with telepathy and assaulting you, and then trying to react and commit more crimes on you for reacting to them talking shit to you, committing crimes on you, assaulting you, and trying to agitate you so they can have something to react to commit more crimes on you. That's psychological torture. People trying to push you through sympathetic overload repeatedly, psychologically torturing, trying to frame you, trying to commit political abuses of psychiatry on you daily, causing severe mental suffering through the repeated abuse, sexual abuse, and violence and threats and attempts of harm, such as frames, political abuses of psychiatry, where you're in fear of your life almost every second of the day. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's psychological torture. That's 20 years in prison. So how are these kids not in prison after 5 years and 5 months of this 12 to 17 hours a day? Who are these point Dexters overseeing this? Are they crazy? So this is actually in question that is it psychological torture or not? Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you put someone in fear of their life 12 to 17 hours a day, shocking their heart, shocking their brain, have devices in their brains and body, and you're being held hostage, pretty sure being held hostage is a form of psychological torture. Not to mention people threatening to R your sisters, R your ex-girlfriend, R your future wife, and waiting for you to get married so they can R your wife in front of your face and saying all sorts of stuff, threatening to harm your family, murder your family on a regular basis, stealing property from you, trying to make you feel helpless by denying you justice and trying to make you look psychotic every time you write to law enforcement. That's psychological torture. Let's wake up. So anyone who's not getting that, you got to be crazy. Not to mention then having devices that interact with my nervous system that they put in a state of flux and do their little knob or whatever they're doing, or click these arrows up and down, putting my nervous system in a state of flux and constantly agitating my nervous system, just kind of like Chinese water drop torture. That's neurophysiological torture. So I don't know what these people are smoking, but and no, I'm not a fucking actor. Anyone telling you I'm an actor is fucking crazy. You know, this Corbin Bologna kid's the actor, or Adam Bologna, or whoever these Bolognas are, and Rick Blomich are actors. Gianni's the real guy. I experienced this real shit. I experienced the real stuff. I report real things. I ain't a goddamn actor. I'm infuriated. And if you think I'm acting, you should see the anger in me daily. So, yeah, no, I don't act. You should see the anger in my letters. You should see the anger on my YouTube sometimes. You should see the anger on my Twitter in even 2019. Yeah, it ain't acting. It's real. They sometimes claim when they see me say stuff, it's too real. Yeah, I was never an actor. I was experiencing this stuff in real life. Not Jeff Bezos' son, not Jeff Bezos, not Nick Tomich or Corbin Corona or Adam Corona or Kurt Pratt. I was actually the real victim of this implantation and these implantable devices in my brain, body, heart, genitals, and these gamma radiation satellite weapons. I experienced the real stuff. Against my will, without permission, nothing. I don't even know how I ended up in this position. I was just typing my med school notes one day, and then these kids got caught being posers and frauds or something, doing something, and then they put a device in my brain and been wreaking havoc on my life ever since. So, enough of this bullshit. Yeah, how are these guys not in prison? Yeah, it's psychological torture, it's neurophysiological torture, and yes, them mutilating my genitals is a form of sexual torture. And yes, it does cause severe mental suffering and pain, and these people just need to go to prison and know they don't need to do, I don't need any morons doing unregulated experimentation on me or recommending their psychiatric evaluations or opinions when they know nothing about psychiatry and know nothing about research, like some of these people who pretend to with their fake credentials and fake this and fake that and their illegal highly illegal, unregulated, unethical, inhumane human experimentation rings where it's filled with a bunch of idiots pretending to be scientists who aren't even scientists. Key point. But yeah, these guys need to go to prison. Let's wake up here. Anyone not putting them in prison has more than criminal negligence, is being blackmailed and is involved through blackmail, is involved or has some form of psychiatric illness or just more than inhuman stupidity. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg, the psychological torture, the sexual torture, and the neurophysiological torture. That's just a piece of this. And this has gone on for 5 years and 5 months. So enough of this nonsense. I'm trying to understand how these kids are still on the loose. And that's, I mean, let's not forget the RICO and terrorism. Let's wake up here. And don't fall for the